Yes, God. Um, Today I decided to start the videos or series of how to get back your life, which was stolen from you. There is many ways how to kill a human, but there's only one way of destroying a human, and that's it. That is by killing the God. That is the part of the God. You see, it is very sad what has happened to humanity or to the gods, and this all begins the day you are born. Now, I was in this world. You come in, you have no idea, and you have no guidance. You have nothing in your program, in your brain, your thought, nothing, and you expect to be informed on your journey through this experience, but the people that are responsible for you, that's your parents, seem to have lost their ways. Let me start you a story when I was growing up, my childhood, my baby youth. I grew up in a very abusive farm or family, people who I was familiar with, mostly my parents. They themselves did not take time to find out who they are, and they were told how and who they are. Sadly, I found myself in a situation of darkness, whereby they don't know who they are, and they're enforcing their ideologies or their programs of what they think they ought to be, ignoring the most obvious, that they are part of creation, and that every creator, when it creates, brings a being, has to nurture and take care of it. It being the baby and they being the gods. But since they are in darkness and they are turned into basically they are deemed, they are demons or dim man. I was beaten when I was growing up, me, my brothers, my sister. And this is, I want to call this episode child abuse. Child abuse is going on all over the world. When in Africa, where I grew up, or a little farm called Uganda, which they call content countries, but they're basically farms on how to farm human beings. Don't teach them anything about themselves on how to empower themselves, because as something is lost, you seem to be afraid. And when you're afraid, you seem to do a lot of bad things to survive. Because the truth is, they tell you that you're a survivor, but God does not survive. God lives the life as it comes. But once God is dead, the body seems to want to survive. It gets into its animalistic behavior of surviving. That is the demon part of you. That means the one that cannot see where it's going. There is no light, which is God. God is light, or God is, in the end, it's not a he or a she. It's an energy that you are part of. Believe it or not, want it or not, you are. And once you were there, and the next day you are not. Well, this happened to me when I was growing up, as every mostly black, so-called black people, or Negroes, or Africans, however they want to call themselves. They beat their kids when growing up. They put them into this trance, or this abuse, whereby the kid loses its way and it cannot find it. It cannot believe that the people that brought it into this life are not teaching anything useful to it, but they are basically making it suffer. They're causing too much pain to it, it being the body, the matter of God, and that way the light is taken out of this. The God is taken out, or is dead, meaning the God has to be resurrected. But sometimes it takes months, weeks, years, even some never have to find it again, because they travel in darkness, because God is light and darkness. God is, as you, when you die, when God dies, is lost or is blind. But once God resurrects, is the light. You light everything. You see things clearly. Unfortunately, our parents, mostly all over the world, over 80 or 90% of the world parents, send their kids in abusive, or even they do the abusing of the kids, and these kids seem to lose their God in process, the light that's supposed to shine for them process, and they adapt these programs. You can call them societies, you can call them tribes, you can call them schools, you can call them books, these boxes, these cubes where they've been told to live within those cubes. These farms, you can call them, where they are not free. And they have to do everything that they've been told, or what they have been subjected to know. But not knowing who they are, the true being that is actually part of the whole thing, the whole, for lack of a better word, the whole universe. The whole is God and is always going to be energy. God is energy, God is power. It's you are being brought into this world. You're not given the knowledge of yourself. You don't know yourself, and people abuse you, they beat you, they say bad things about you, they use suggestive, demeaning words, whereby you find yourself cursing that day that you were born and trying to make up a persona or a face, put up another face, another image where you can fit in, but not finding the one that you came into this world to experience, and you end up doing what you've been told. A job, slavery, work, employment, whatever you want to call it. You're enslaved in the system of slavery where you are there to serve or be served and not really experiencing your life. Everything starts in the mind, and once the mind is destroyed, the soul seems to just run in darkness because everything has to be analyzed from the mind and have to think. So since the abuse was always taken off, the fear of being abused again keeps on tormenting you. That's why they call it Stockholm Syndrome, because you're always stuck at home. You can't move because of the abuse that the household or the home that you were brought in abused you. As my parents were kind of tired of me or tired of abusing me or abusing my energy convinced them to send me away so I can feel a bit of freedom, so I can learn. I'm not saying that once your God is dead, that the soul is in darkness, it cannot guide you. It will, because nature outside of your soul will try its best to move things around for you. And I was grateful my outside God or the nature, which is part of everybody, decided to move some strings around, move the energy around, and got me out of that house when I was still, not yet a teenager, maybe 9, 10 years old. I moved to Asia, Pakistan to be exact. Pakistan, I studied there. I saw the same thing. Boys used to be sexually raped or molested day in, day out is part of their culture. Raping little boys to make